Good evening. Tonight we're tracking an industry-shaking development that has many calling 2026 the year the music business finally broke. The center of this storm, Angelina Jordan. Just weeks ago, leaked memos suggested a desperate scramble within the Recording Academy to address a surge in independent voting power. As of this April, Jordan isn't just a viral sensation anymore. She's a statistical anomaly that the big three labels are reportedly terrified of. But while the world watches her record-breaking rise, a darker story is emerging about what it actually cost her to get here. We've uncovered reports of a coordinated effort to suppress her latest releases, leading many to ask, what exactly happened behind those closed studio doors during her long silence? This was the legal battle that executives hoped would never see the light of day. For years, the industry narrative was that Jordan was the golden child of Republic Records, but by the start of this year, that relationship didn't just end, it imploded. Our investigation reveals that the split was sparked by a fundamental clash over creative control. Insiders claim the label wanted to pivot Jordan toward a hyper-commercial, TikTok-friendly bubblegum sound, a move her team viewed as a betrayal of her vintage jazz-pop soul. When she moved her catalog to her family-led MOSARZ LLC, she essentially declared war on the traditional gatekeepers. This wasn't a standard exit. It was a high-stakes gamble that involved walking away from a multi-million-dollar marketing machine. Documents suggest that the old guard didn't take this lying down, allegedly placing soft blocks on her radio play in an attempt to prove she couldn't survive without them. However, what they didn't realize was that by trying to bury her, they only fueled the independent rebel narrative that has now become her biggest selling point. The fallout from this divorce has sent a clear message to every aspiring artist in the world. The golden cage is real, and the keys are held by those brave enough to walk away from the check. But as Jordan would soon find out, freedom comes with a target on your back that never truly disappears. While the headlines were screaming her name, the woman herself had completely vanished from the map. Throughout 2025, a eerie silence fell over Angelina's social media. Rumors began to circulate that the pressure of her legal battles had taken a physical toll, or worse, that she had faced serious security threats that forced her into a secure, undisclosed location. While her team remained tight-lipped, our sources indicate this disappearance was actually a strategic retreat. During this time, the singer was reportedly living in a self-imposed isolation, recording in a high-security studio to prevent any leaks or corporate sabotage. The mystery only grew when a series of cryptic images were posted and then immediately deleted, leading to wild speculation about her mental well-being and her future in the industry. Some theorists even suggested she had been blackballed from the industry entirely, with major platforms allegedly suppressing her name in search algorithms. The psychological warfare of the industry is often more damaging than the legal battles, and the 2025 blackout served as a chilling reminder of how easily a star can be dimmed by the very people who helped light it. Yet, as the calendar turned to 2026, it became clear that this silence wasn't a sign of defeat. It was the quiet before a massive, calculated storm that would catch the entire music world off guard. No one in the history of modern music has ever attempted a release schedule this aggressive without a major label's backing. When Angelina finally re-emerged, she didn't just release a comeback single. She dropped 3 full-length albums in a span of just 6 months. Secret of the Soul, Star, and Love weren't just collections of songs, they were a direct middle finger to the industry's single-driven economy. By flooding the market with high-quality independent content, she bypassed the need for radio play entirely, going straight to her massive global fanbase. This move was a logistical nightmare that many experts thought would fail. Without the infrastructure of a major label, the distribution and promotion fell entirely on her family and team. The data we've analyzed shows that despite a lack of traditional advertising, her streaming numbers rivaled those of the biggest pop stars on the planet. This secret trilogy proved that the connection between an artist and their audience is now the most powerful currency in the world. However, this success sparked a new wave of controversy, with rival labels accusing her team of using unconventional methods to manipulate the charts. These accusations surfaced just as she was gaining momentum for the 2026 awards season, leading many to believe that the industry's next move would be an attempt to invalidate her achievements entirely through bureaucratic red tape. The bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip were supposed to be her crowning achievement, but they nearly became her downfall. Earlier this year, Jordan announced a residency at the iconic Westgate International Theater, the same stage once graced by Elvis Presley. It was a bold move for an independent artist, and the industry's response was reportedly cold. We've uncovered reports that rival promoters attempted to choke out her ticket sales by pressuring local vendors and travel agencies to deprioritize her show. There were even rumors circulating in April that the residency was on the verge of being canceled due to unreliability, a narrative many believe was planted to discourage fans from traveling to see her. Despite these blackout attempts, the show didn't just go on, it became the hottest ticket in town. Fans from across the globe flocked to Vegas, turning the residency into a grassroots movement. The performances were described as transformative, further cementing her status as a live powerhouse that didn't need a corporate stadium tour to prove her worth. But as the residency sold out night after night, the old guard realized that their traditional methods of suppression were no longer working. This led to an even more desperate tactic: a public smear campaign designed to question her authenticity and paint her as a manufactured rebel, a move that only deepened the divide between the establishment and the new era of independent music. Just as the Grammy nominations were being finalized, the rules of the game suddenly began to change. This April, whispers of a closed-door meeting among industry elites have surfaced, with the goal of restructuring the Best New Artist and Album of the Year criteria. The proposed changes would reportedly favor artists with significant traditional distribution, a move that many see as a direct strike against Jordan's independent success. The industry plant narrative has been dialed up to 10, with anonymous sources claiming her rise was funded by shadow investors rather than her own hard work. These accusations surfaced in major trade publications, leading to a heated debate among fans and critics. Our investigation into these claims found no evidence of foul play, only a highly efficient family-run digital marketing strategy. It appears the corporate machine is struggling to understand a world where they are no longer the kingmakers. By labeling her a plant, they are attempting to strip away her credibility and protect their own dwindling influence. This counterattack isn't just about one singer, it's a battle for the soul of the music industry. If Jordan wins the Big Four Grammys as an independent artist, it could trigger a mass exodus of talent from major labels, a doomsday scenario for the executives who have controlled the airwaves for decades. Behind the scenes of this musical revolution is a marketing engine that doesn't use billboards, it uses algorithms. While the major labels were busy buying radio spots, Angelina's team, led by the strategic mind of her grandmother Murray, was mastering the art of the viral loop. They bypassed the traditional press junkets and late-night TV appearances, focusing instead on high-retention, short-form content that resonated with a younger, more tech-savvy audience. This digital uprising allowed them to build a global community that felt a personal stake in her success. By the time April 2026 rolled around, she had more direct-to-fan engagement than artists with 10 times her budget. However, this digital-first approach has also made her a target for bot farming accusations. Rivals claim her numbers are inflated, yet the sold-out crowds in Vegas and the massive physical album sales tell a different story. This conflict highlights a massive generational gap in the industry: the old-school executives who rely on handshakes and favors versus the new-school creators who understand data and community. The gatekeepers are finding that their gates have been bypassed entirely, and the walls they built to keep independent artists out are finally starting to crumble. The digital uprising isn't just a trend. It's a permanent shift in how fame is manufactured and maintained in the 21st century. As we look at the landscape of the music world this April, one thing is clear: the era of the untouchable major label is over. Angelina Jordan's journey from a young girl singing in the streets to a global independent powerhouse has exposed the cracks in a system that for too long has prioritized profit over passion. Whether she sweeps the awards or is blocked by the old guard, the message has already been sent. The industry tried to mold her, then tried to silence her, and finally tried to discredit her. Yet here she stands, more influential than ever. The Angelina effect is real, and it's forcing every executive in Hollywood to rethink their strategy. In the end, the music business might find that you can't censor a voice that the entire world is already listening to. As the sun sets on the old empire, a new queen is rising, and she's doing it entirely on her own terms. The only question that remains is, who will be the next artist to realize that the cage door has been open this entire time? We'll be watching. Nightly News signing off.